Welcome to CNT Collectibles. I am C. Hope you're doing well. All right, we're going to continue on my series of me talking about players that I find interesting that no one else cares about. So we could easily talk about Hall of Famers having MVP level seasons. I don't think there's any value added to that because it's too late. But if we can identify some players that are good, borderline-ish, then maybe there's a little value added to that one. So this is a favorite of mine. I've been collecting him over the years. Came out of the gates in 2017. Amazing. A couple of MVP level seasons. Probably should have gotten one of them. That's all right. Mike Trout. No shame in losing to Mike Trout, right? But then 2020, 2021 took a little bit of a step back. One, not his fault. One, something was going on there. But this year, having another terrific season, and maybe a little bit better than you think, although he did just win a Player of the Month award. So maybe he's as good as you think. So anyways, we'll try and, but his card prices aren't reflecting that yet. And that's really what I'm looking for here is players that maybe their card prices can catch up. So anyways, Alex Bregman, 28-year-old, this is the year 28 season. Again, just a terrific out of the gates here, and he's got 30 wins above replacement accumulated to this point, to his age 28 season. There's not a lot of guys that have done that, and there's a few guys that are well above that. So if you look at like the Jose Ramirez, Manny Machados of the world, they're 29 years old, and they're sitting at 40. So he's not going to make that up or anything, but he's on a decent track here. What I like about him is his hitting profile. He's not going to be subjected to long slumps. He walks more than he strikes out when he's on. And this year, he is on. So we'll look under the hood a little bit and see what we see. So, Mr. Bregman. Again, in 2018 and 2019, when he was accumulating over 8 wins per season, he did walk above more than he strikes out. Now, in the seasons that he didn't do that, if discounting his rookie year of 2016 when he was only up for about a third of the season. He would strike out maybe slightly more than he walks, so it's not a huge thing. So a lot of players, if they're really good, they're striking out 15% of the time, walking 7 or 8% of the time. He ties those numbers together pretty closely, but if you look at the people that walk more than they strike out, you're talking about Juan Soto, Luis Arraez, some of the better hitters in the game here. So it's isolated power over 200 this year. He was able to do that in 2020, where actually he was on pace for 24 home run season, which is not bad. And last year was injuries; it would have been a high teens level. So even with a quote unquote poor performance last year, wasn't that bad at all. So not for most players. For Alex Bregman, a player of his caliber, maybe not the greatest or anything like that, but again, walking more than he strikes out, great deal. Isolated power this year creeping back over 200, 296 in 2019. Bit of an outlier, 41 home runs, not something that we're really looking for him. If he can be in that high 20s, low 30s, that's more of where he's at. Weighted runs created, 150, 160. This year, back above 141. So 100 is your average major leaguer. 130 and above is kind of your elite level hitter. And that's where he's sitting right now. The batting average, 286, 296 in that 2018-2019 seasons. Even last year, 270. This year, he's just a shade below that, 265. His batting average on balls in play, one of the lower numbers over the past couple of years, and we'll figure out why that's the case. But as an offensive player, he is a very positive offensive player, and this year he's going to put up a 5+ win season. So that's good to see here. So Statcast hard hit percentage, he's creeping back up into the high 30s, where he was at in 2018 and 2019, and really 2021. Partial season, but he played pretty well. His maximum exit velocity this year is at the highest it's ever been, and he's barreling up the ball better than he ever has. And so that barrel is that sweet combination of launch angle and exit velocity, which leads to home runs. And again, he's hitting home runs at a decent pace, not his record pace or anything like that, but he's hitting the ball really well. And what I really like about him is if you watch his swing, those hands are inside, and it's extremely compact and quick. And there's not a lot of holes in there. So pitchers are finding a few, but not too many. Home run to fly ball rate sitting in the double digits. That's where he's been most of his career. It was at an 18% level. In 2019, the big boys are usually up around 25, 30%, and if they have an incredible year, it's 35 or 40%, but there's regression there. But 25%-ish is where you're a true home run, consistent home run guy. 18% for Alex Bregman. is a good number. He's able to knock out 41 home runs at that level, and a lot of guys are having to put the ball up in the air intentionally at a much higher rate to achieve that. And so he's got skill there. So that line drive rate a little bit lower than it has been when he's had these terrific seasons, and the fly ball rate a little bit higher. And so he's trading that off. He's pulling the ball a little bit. If you look at his pull percentage, he's pulling the ball just a little bit more. And if you see, we'll look at the spray chart. That's where his power is coming from. So it's not an all fields power guy. Again, that 41 bombs in 2018, a little bit anomalous, but everything else really. I mean, this is a terrific hitter who can spread the ball around a little bit here, but he is selling out for a little bit more power, and it is hurting the average just a touch. Plate discipline. This is elite level stuff here. You don't see this too often. Swinging at balls outside the zone at about a 21% clip here. A lot of players, if you're good, you're swinging at balls outside the zone about a 30% clip, and so he's elite level stuff. This is again Juan Soto type plate discipline, and he's not going to chase a whole lot of balls out of the zone. He does swing a little bit outside the zone, or he does go for some of those outside fastballs in the zone, and that's not his. That's not where he's going to make a lot of the hard contact or anything like that. So it holds him back a bit here, but he's got a great command of the zone. Inside the zone, he's hitting the ball over 90% of the time. So if you throw him a strike, he is going to hit it for the most part here. So, all right, you can see the heat map here. We've got pitchers throwing him, basically down the middle and low and away. So on that left side, this is the catcher view here. So, Mr. Bregman would be over here. Pitchers are throwing him low and away, as they kind of do for the most part. What you don't see are a ton of strikes outside the zone, because they know he's not going to go after it. He's not going to chase it. So they have to hit him, induce him into some weaker contact. And you can see on the spray chart, you throw him inside, those hands that again stay inside, quick swing. He's going to put it out of the park, or he's going to hit it hard. If you throw it away a little bit, then the odds shift in your favor a bit as a pitcher. So the hard hit, average exit velocity, middle of the pack. So he really needs to lay into it to put it out there. But he can if you throw it, again over the plate or inside. And so that's why pitchers tend to stay away just a little bit here. But doesn't strike out a whole lot, and he's elite, an elite walker. Doesn't chase for anything. Again, one of the best guys. I mean, the elite guys are sitting at that 20% level, and it's really only a handful of them, and he's one of them right there, and doesn't strike out a ton. So he really, especially over the past 50, 100 plate appearances, 100 or 250 plate appearances, he's been trending up on that X-weighted on base average. So X-WOBA, just sounds nice coming off the tongue like that. So, anyways. He just really has that mastery of the plate presence. If he wants to put it out of the park, he's going to have to lay into it a little bit. And I think he's trying to do that just a little bit more, and sacrificing line drives to the opposite side of the field. And that's what's holding his average back just a little bit. But again, we're looking at a 28-year-old that if he can, over the next 6 or so years, can he be that 5 or 6 win player, which he's doing right now? Maybe sneak in a 7 or 8 win season or something like that. He'll have to take the Goldschmidt route and just have a resurgence and monster year at age 33, 34 and be consistent up to that point. But there is a path for him. He is trending well against the all-time greats at the third base position. Now, there's 5 reasons that he maybe not gets in. So this is more of an on-the-fence guy. His prices reflect that. But Adrian Beltre, Scott Rowland, Manny Machado, Nolan Arenado, Jose Ramirez. I think there's roughly 25, 27, something like that, third baseman in the Hall of Fame. And I'm not sure that 20% of that total is going to get added in the next decade and a half. There's a lot of guys there that are going to get in. He may be on the outside looking in, but he's trending favorably. And again, came out like a shot with those couple of 8-win seasons. 21-22, we'll see how history looks at that 2020 season. 2021, again, he didn't help himself a ton, but this year he's right back on track. And so the price action, this is the most important thing. What do we do with that information? So again, this is a player that I had been accumulating a decent amount of. He had a pretty nice run up, and then at this point, breaking this upward trend was wait. So I'm not selling, but you guys go ahead, and if you want to buy, wait at this point here, and that is paid off. Your patience is potentially paid off here. This is the regular chrome in a PSA 10. $30 card. I don't know if it's bottoming or not. That trend remains down decisively. There's no question about it. You can wait for a breakout, but at this price here, $28. If you can get it for $20, $25, I'm not sure how much lower it goes, and maybe that's a decent starter card for Bregman if that's a player that you're willing to take a shot on. And something could happen to these other players, or he could just continue to be this 5-6 win player and force the issue over the next maybe almost decade or something like that. I mean, that would be a big deal. So he could certainly take it into his own hands. So Topps Chrome Refractor PSA 10. Again, we're looking at like a $35 card hanging around the lows over the last year. So again, trending lower, and it could still go lower. That's fine, but it seems like a reasonable shot. There's other players that you can get a PSA 10 refractor for $30 that are not as in good a position as Mr. Bregman. And we'll wrap it up with his 2016 Bowman Chrome Prospects BGS 9510. This is numbered out of 495. The refractor autograph, and this is a card that I recently purchased, but I didn't get the price that it's currently at. I figured this was close enough, and I'm not too far off of this. But I think if you're in that $100 to $125 range for that card, seems like that's where maybe buying is going to step in again. It could certainly go lower, and there's a lot of things that could that happen with that. So I don't know. I need a longer term chart on this one, but this is the best I got. So, but we can just looking at this, if you get into that price area, it seems like that's where buying is actually picking up just a little bit at the time being. But again, I just think that it's one of those guys that is maybe being a touch overlooked at the moment, and I'm picking up a few more things. Again, I did it a while ago, waited, and then now I'm kind of back in on buying some Bregman stuff because his prices I don't think are reflecting what he's doing and what Houston can maybe do in the playoffs. So that's what I got for you. I hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, do all that kind of good stuff, and we will talk to you later. Bye now.